What's going on, everybody? So I'm super excited to be doing this video today. Apologies in advance, though. I am feeling a bit under the weather, so if my voice goes in and out, I'm sorry about that. But I had the time to record today, so I'm gonna try to power through it. But today's video is inspired by Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. So he came up with the idea of the video, of A through Z challenge. If you were to go somewhere or be stranded like on an island or something, and you could only choose one movie from your collection, from numbers all the way from A to Z. So each letter of the alphabet, you can only pick one movie per letter. So what would you take? What would you pick? So I kind of rummaged through my collection back here, and I chose kind of like my favorites from each letter. So I'm gonna go ahead and share those with y'all. So shout out Huck for the idea. If you don't watch his videos or you're not subscribed, definitely check out his channel. I'll go ahead and link it down below. Also, if you've been watching some of my videos, you probably noticed I kind of changed my background a little bit. I kind of took out some of the horror collectibles. I'm so pumped for October, guys. Spooky season, one of my favorite times of the year. So, if you're not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe so you can check out the content that I'm going to be putting out in the month of October. So, I'm super excited for that. So, stick around. So, kicking things off with the numbers, I went ahead and chose 10 Cloverfield Lane. I love this movie. John Goodman is he puts on a great performance playing this mysterious character. You don't know if he's the good guy or the bad guy, and it just keeps you on your toes. You're kind of guessing where the movie's going, and I love that. For the A, I chose Annihilation. Great Alex Garland movie with great performances and fantastic visuals. Definitely check that out. So a little bit of a cheat here. This is a three-pack trilogy, but I'm going with the first Back to the Future, one of the most rewatchable movies of all time. I'd never met anyone or heard anyone say that they don't like Back to the Future. Now, parts two and three, that's a different story, but part one is, one of the best. Another personal favorite of mine, uh, top tier Pixar for me, Coco. Maybe because I'm Hispanic, this movie just hits closer to home for me. It's a great movie, emotional, the family themes. I love it. Trying to get through this, guys. I'm sorry, but I had time to record today. Uh, Another rewatchable movie, and I'm probably gonna say that about all of these movies, which is why I chose them to take with me, right? But Dazed and Confused, I love this movie. One of the best coming of age movies. Matthew McConaughey, one of the most quotable characters in movie history. All right, all right, all right. It's just a great, great movie, and I can watch it anytime. Another classic here, E.T. with this beautiful lenticular slipcover. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched this movie in years. It's way overdue for a rewatch, but this is a super fun movie. Steven Spielberg, the master, you know, was able to create one of the most fun, entertaining, family-friendly movies of all time. And I love that packaging, by the way. I need to rewatch that soon. Next up for the F, one of my favorites from 2019, Ford v Ferrari. To be honest, as a guy, not even that big a fan of cars. I like cars, but I'm not super into them like a lot of guys are. But this movie, you know, changed that for me. I just the way that this movie was able to show the races and the sound, the cars sound fantastic. The engines are just roaring, and great performances by Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Favorite from my childhood here. Not usually the biggest musical fan, but this one, I do love. That's Grease, starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, who sadly passed away recently. But I love the soundtrack. I remember listening to it in the car all the time as a kid. My dad owned the cassette that he would pop in, and we would play this in the car all the time. And To this day, I can rewatch that movie, pretty much anytime. Another cheat here because this is a two pack, but that's Home Alone. And if I could only pick one, I would have to go with the first one, Home Alone Part 1. Even though they're both great, the second one just doesn't really hold up for me. And upon rewatches and as I get older, it's just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't hold up as much as the first one for me. They're both great, but I gotta go with Part 1. And that's I like that one more. Here we go. I love this movie. Just super good movie. Interstellar. Powerful, emotional, super interesting if you're into like space and this movie has a great score. The soundtrack. I could just listen to that soundtrack in the car. I love that score. It's really good. Another classic that I saw too, later in life. I honestly saw this for the first time maybe I'll say 2 years ago. That's Jaws. I can't believe it took me so long to watch this movie. And this one also has that tentacular. But this was an instant favorite of mine. I gave it 5 stars. Excuse me. 5 stars. Fantastic movie. Next up, another classic that I saw way too late in life. Better late than never. Karate Kid. I could care less about parts 2 and 3 and next Karate Kid. Don't even get me started, but this movie is super good. I saw this movie and then I watched Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai just made me love this movie even more. So, Karate Kid, one of my favorites. And I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but another childhood classic. Yeah, if I'm gonna be stranded somewhere, I'm gonna be taking my comfort movies, my favorites from my childhood, and the ones that I think are, you know, endlessly rewatchable. Lion King, I mean, masterpiece. What else can I say? Next up, the M, Mrs. Doubtfire. Super funny, family friendly. Robin Williams dressed as an old woman is comedy gold. If you haven't seen Mrs. Doubtfire, do yourself a favor, check it out, and then come back and thank me in the comments. But that's a really good movie. It's super funny. Next up, Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal, super creepy character, super eerie, really good performance, and I love the cinematography there. For the O, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of my favorites from Tarantino. As you can see, I have the poster right up there. Love that movie. Some people find it boring, slow, but I couldn't get enough of it. This movie is part of a huge popular franchise. Now, I am not a huge fan of the sequels, but this one, Part 1, Pirates of the Caribbean, super fun movie. Johnny Depp's performance, obviously the standout, the music, the visuals, story. Overall, a great movie. 5 out of 5. And for the cues, I went ahead and chose Quiet Place. I'm also a fan of Part 2, but I went ahead and went with I do own Part 2, but I went ahead and chose Part 1 for this challenge. For the R's, one of my favorite sports movies of all time. I think I first saw this in high school, and I loved it. And even to this day, Coach Boot, the man. And the sports movie, The Sandlot. Excuse me, The Sandlot. I love this movie. I can rewatch it any time of year, but it just hits different in the summer. The baseball, the fireworks. Great movie. Great movie to put on with the family and just enjoy it. This next movie for the T, one of my earliest memories of seeing a movie in theaters, and that's Titanic. Got all the Oscar love, won all the awards, super popular, well known, and rightfully so. If I had to make a top 20 favorite list, that would probably be on there, to be honest. You know, I'm not even ashamed. For the use, I kind of cheated a little bit. I went with a box set, and that's the Universal Classic Monster movies, which this collection contains, I believe, 8 movies. And to be honest, I've only seen Dracula of the bunch. Yeah, I know, kind of ashamed to admit, but if I'm gonna be stranded on an island, what better time to watch, a classic monsters box set? I'm especially excited for over all of them, but especially Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know why, I just like drawn towards that character. I mean, they all look really interesting, to be honest. Dracula, I was like iffy about it. It was okay, but yeah, hopefully I enjoy the rest. But this is a really nice box set. Excited to check it out. Hopefully in October. For the V, this is my uh, only one from the stack that I have not seen. But it's the only V that I own. That's V for Vendetta. Um, so I can't say much about this movie other than I love the fact that they put different artwork on the case. So I love when they do that. Different artwork. Super cool. Okay, almost done here, guys. The W, one of my favorite movies. Probably, uh, definitely in my top 5 at the moment. Whiplash. And I'm holding that backwards. Whiplash, there you go. There's the title. Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons. Phenomenal performances. Fantastic music. I wish I knew how to play the drums after watching that movie. It's super cool. I think I'm cheating with the next one as well. I didn't own any X movies. That sounded wrong. I don't own any movies that start with the letter X. So I chose Ex Machina, one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and the second Alex Garland movie from the list. So Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, and the actress who plays the AI, Alicia Vikander. Really, really great performances all around. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. For the whys, wrapping things up here, I remember first watching this movie on Netflix, and then I went out and bought the Criterion edition. So I do own the Criterion, and that's Y Tu Mamá También, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. And I don't know if it's because I'm Hispanic or what, but I just love this movie. And not even because I'm Hispanic. Anybody can enjoy this movie. It's in Spanish with subtitles, but it's a great coming of age movie with good, great, cinematography, the landscapes showing, Mexico. It's just super cool. Uh, really, check that out if you haven't. Check it out. Lastly, the letter Z, uh, Zombieland. Love this steelbook. Love this movie. I need to rewatch it because it's been a while. It's been a while. Um, that's it, guys. That's my A through Z movies that if I could only pick one from each letter, these are the ones for my collection. There's, other movies out there that I probably don't own, or, I just prefer if I had to rewatch one or the other, these are the ones that I would gravitate towards. So, yeah, once again, shout out Huck for the idea. This was a fun video to make. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, please stick around. I plan on making much more videos, and I really want you all to join me in the comments, uh, and follow me on Instagram, Letterbox. We can, talk about movies. So everything will be linked down below, and hope to see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.